Hi and welcome to this video on Marvel Rivals. This video is covering 2/4 of the Fantastic Four. This video is covering Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman. I keep forgetting her name because that is a very weird name. Mr. Fantastic himself is a very weird name, but Invisible Woman because that's just her power. She's invisible and she's a woman. It's very funky. But first, my voice is not 100%, and second, this cold open that you're going to see is not so cold, but it is meant to show off how different characters can work together. Specifically, Invisible Woman and Rocket Raccoon can work very well for an overall healing team comp because of the overall healing that Invisible Woman and Rocket Raccoon can do, including their versatility that I'm going to get into and different things like that. I have covered Rocket Raccoon, so I highly suggest watching that video if you want to know Rocket Raccoon a little bit. But this video is, like I said, Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman. Once Johnny Storm or not Fantastic Torch, the Human Torch and the Thing get introduced, I'll have the 4/4 of Mr. Fantastic and all of them. Now, this video, the reason why I'm making this video, even though I really didn't want to with Still Sore Throat, is because I really want to show off the main mechanic of Mr. Fantastic. The Whip It Like a Noodle. That's what I'm going to call it because that's basically what you have to do, and it's designed around that. You'll see, it's very gorgeous gameplay mechanic that a lot of people don't even cover, even with the top tips, which is why I really want to make this video because people don't cover this, and even in the gameplay, you never see anyone use the Whip It Like a Noodle. And with that said, I'm going to let this clip play out. You're going to see the next clip, which is like next Mr. Fantastic clip, because there's a couple clips here showing off different gameplay pieces of how Rocket Raccoon could really work in an overall team comp. But the next clip, which is a different gameplay section, relatively speaking, is going to be on Mr. Fantastic. You will hear me then. I won't see you technically.
A little help, please.
This is real firepower!
Much better.
Follow the enemy! Now! That's blocking her!
I am ready to put on a show.
I'll pack you
Shields up.
some assistance, please.
Final 10 seconds.
By the eye of Agamotto!
And stand again!
Disappear.
Keep us alone! Rise, my friends! Watch this fight!
Well, you can't expect to win them all.
Now, with that not so cold open out the way, and part of the reason why it ended in defeat and why I kept the defeat in the video is because that's how this game functions. You're not always supposed to win a match, and she does have a very good point. Why expect to win every match? That's not how PvP functions, which is why I personally love matches that go 99-99. That is just a genuinely good match, in my personal opinion, because it's not about win or lose. In comp, it's still not really about win or lose, but that's how you rank up, is to win. You rank down if you lose, which is why all comp systems are kind of bad, because the goal of the game is to, at the end of the day, have fun. A good 99-99 should not make you go down as much as a just you got absolutely curb stomped. One of the methods, like that general thing. Now, with all that said, Mr. Fantastic's kit is very flexible. It's very fantastic. It's very what his overall concept would allow you to think of. His main mechanic is his noodle arms. His noodle arms allow you to swing like you're saying, which doesn't have a whole lot of range. You really do have to keep that in mind. But the biggest thing with this is the Whip It Like a Noodle mechanic, allowing you to hit multiple people, but only on the extension, not on the like staying out a little bit, so you can do what I just did there of hitting multiple people, which can do a whole lot of damage, and that is the main mechanic with Mr. Fantastic. He is not a single target deleter. He is a everything, including healing your teammates. Sure, it's not a whole lot of health and it is shield, so it will deteriorate, but keep in mind, most supports can heal themselves. Most DPS can some DPS can heal themselves, but most DPS can get into the support's line of sight pretty easily. So, being able to just, you don't die for that little bit longer, get to the supports, is very capable to just keep people alive. This is how he's just so flexible, with the ability to use that to just say, come over here. And not just come over here on, there he is, on the same level. You can use this to easily just get up to higher level. I want to make sure I can actually... the hardest thing for him to do is actually break things. Which, to be honest, not every character needs to be able to do everything, but still. Let me grab you. Or can I grab you? I should be in range. There we go. Allows you to do shit like that. Now, there's a lot of cool mechanics like that right there. That grab, pull is actually really balanced when you take consideration how long his just manipulate is. And I have not actually played him a whole lot. I don't really like his kit. Quite sorry about it. Did not mean to kill him there. I kind of forgot I did damage. Not gonna lie. I don't play this character. I fight a lot of this character because everyone fucking mains him. But how fast you can just pull them to you versus Mr. Fantastic, which takes a little bit. And you have to be kind of on target, or you have to keep them in your line of sights and not see multiple people. Because if you see him and then somebody else, you'll actually make them kiss each other, basically. You just kiss. You know what, I want to show that off because it's just kind of funny. You and you, oh. Well, yep. Both of these abilities are very handy because that's a good way to just disorient the entire enemy team or those two people, and to be honest, depending on who they are, the entire enemy team. Because, like, two supports. Because typically you're meant to have two supports, which is why the quote open is what it was. But the two supports hitting them and just destroying them, even killing one of them, tossing them farther. Like, the overall, you can't heal your team because most of them, if not all of them, require a level of accuracy. I say if not all of them because Rocket Raccoon actually has a massive AoE on his healing, which is why I was just dumping it down range. But his kit is very, very, very fine-tuned in how it functions. Like, and why they are actually instantly in comp as well. And I do have controller drift. You're going to see me struggling with it. You're going to see me spinning around trying to blow into it and shit because the controller drift has been a problem for a little bit now. I will have it fixed 2 weeks from now, technically. Not this Friday, next Friday. Just to clarify. Now, his kit is very, very potent in so many different ways. Like, for an example, his... Big Boy mode has a lot less range, just off the bat, but it does a lot more damage to allow you to just get up close and personal and delete them, which is what his main gimmick is. His main gimmick is Whip It Like a Noodle, which allows you to have a lot of damage, but you're meant to use that in the inflated mode. But the inflated mode is itself your tempo, your gauge, your heat valve, however you want to call it, but you're meant to try and heat up when you really, really want to, which is why there are a lot of cool things about his kit. Like, for an example, that long range reach gives you 30. Not on grab, it just gives you 30. Just flat out gives you 30 on reach. So if you are, say, for an example, in the middle of your team, you can, you know what, I am actually going to swap around to show what I'm trying to show.
There were lots.
Boom. Okay.
My ultimate.
How you can really use this kit is to be able to just toss that out, get that up, get it up to 60 because the next 2 punches and another ability will get it up. But then time it when you really want to keep it up because it's able to keep going down. And keep in mind you have 2 charges of that grab, a good charge of that, and is able to constantly traverse one another, basically not traverse. One cooldown will be active at any given time if you play your cards right and really slow down and know when to hit it. And in combat, spam it, that general thing where you know the tempo, you know the timing, you know these different things to allow you to just absolutely slaughter face. And something amazing about this game overall, that timer on that overhealth is something that most likely they were not going to implement, but they saw how Storm, or not most likely, possibly not going to implement, because they saw how Storm's ultimate functioned without that overhealth being able to just drain over time. It was just a splat. With that overhealth and how it functions, you're able to do some crazy things. And that is just 2 abilities that I've covered. His third ability is his game-breaking ability. I say his game-breaking ability because, like, for an example, Punisher's turret, Of the Atomic Dome, that's the only one I really got. Punisher's turret, Hulk going, or Bruce Banner going into Hulk, and Hulk going into Bruce Banner, both ways, I believe. And I say game breaking because some things just don't work like they should. Like for an example, like they should, like you would think. This allows you to instantly negate Jeff's ult. You pop that, you have 3 seconds of "you can't eat me, Jeff, fuck you." And you can pop it while they're doing, if you get the timing right, so it can be, "Oh, you want to eat me? No," kind of thing. And it's very, very handy. Now, the coolest thing about his kit, or not coolest thing, the most interesting, versatile bit that I'm going to actually talk about why this is actually interesting and versatile, because he basically has 4 abilities. His 4th ability is his ultimate. Now, the reason why this is very interesting and very awesome is because his 4th ability gives you a way to move. Sure, on each bounce, it gives you that pause animation, but it allows you to get up to places, and if you're good with that bounce and good with getting at the right places, you can bounce through things pretty easily with a pretty fast cooldown, because keep in mind the whipping like a noodle mechanic, you're able to get multiple charges for your ultimate per just one swing and get multiple kills. Because keep in mind, this game is a team cooperative shooter, even though the gameplay you're going to be seeing is not in the team cooperative shooter bit, it's actually in the free-for-all mode, basically. Doom Match. Doom Match is a very interesting match with an entirely different map that is seriously unique, that is seriously gorgeous, that you're going to see the entire gameplay of, that I actually win. But, and I say actually win because Mr. Fantastic isn't the greatest for that. Okay, Mr. Fantastic is amazing for that. Every character is amazing for that, depending on how you want to play. I'm just not that lucky. I typically see one boy, go for them, grab them, and then 3 other boys converge on the same target. Kill me. Somehow that boy that I try to kill gets away for a little bit. Like, that general thing is my luck all the time. And I actually had a match on Iron Fist where I couldn't get a kill. I got 3 kills after doing like 3,000 damage. I want to say something like that. I was constantly doing damage, but I couldn't get a single kill. Because everyone was doing good, but mostly because every single time I got somebody close to death, somebody else jumped me, or something like that, so I couldn't finish them because every single fight was a good back and forth because everyone was good. So it was just kind of bullshit. And I say that because Doom Match, depending on your luck, is very fun or very bad. So if you do want to just have fun with the portal mechanic and just overall versatility, I highly suggest playing Jeff, because I do have a video on the balance of this Jeffer piece, I think is what I called it, because Jeff in that mode allows you to just have fun. And I mean genuine fun if you understand how Jeff's kit functions. Like the bubbles, where I pop the bubbles a whole lot, it was because it gives you a speed boost and different things like that. So you're able to just avoid people. Even though you can't really get kills, you're able to just avoid people. And if you're able to hit the on-contact shot a whole lot in a fast-paced combat scenario without them just not looking at you, keep this in mind, you could pop off. You can do some serious damage, but you're really going to go for the AoE a whole lot because of how different characters function, different things like that. Now, with all that said, this wall is incredibly handy because of what you're just seeing there. It does not just make you big where you have a bigger hitbox, it also gives you, basically, 300 extra health on a button press. Instantaneous, right then and there, which can and will save your ass, because you can pop it as you're running to a health pack, and if you get the right timing, and you can deactivate it if you want to be able to get there. And speaking of get there, if you did not notice there, the speed of walking with this, or the speed of walking without it, is actually a lot slower. And I can just show it off here. So, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it will make or break entire combat scenarios. Now, with that, the timing and different things like that do come in real handy because of how every single damage value really matters. And with that, something amazing about his ultimate. Because this is about timing, because everything here you see is very timing based. It's boom, pause, bounce, boom, pause, bounce. It's that very rhythmical thing, which that boom, pause will get you killed if somebody is just looking at you right. Because there is no healing off of that. Your supports have to be healing you, and you're a high priority target the entire time, so they hear your ult pop, they're gonna focus you if they're slightly good. Now, with this ultimate, in big open areas, you're able to get around the place pretty easily and just have some pretty good movement overall. And that is why I covered the movement of this. That's why I said that is basically affordability, because of the distance you can cover, the overall versatility, versus just walking that distance. It's pretty impressive. But when you're doing damage, you're able to hit a maximum of 3 extra times to a total of 6, I believe. Just by feeling it out, which can allow you to bonk, bonk, bonk with faster rate in those 4, 5, and 6, I believe. Yeah, and I'm trying to make sure because it's a little bit funky how it functions because you can't just play with it and see, and I typically pop my ult on Mr. Fantastic as a good movement, at least trying to, because I'm trying to get good with it. So I don't really know about that. But, with his ultimate, pop it in doorways like this, because right there I'm able to hit a lot faster than this. And keep in mind, these little seconds matter so much with a game like this, because every damage value, every input and output of damage, and every little thing, I say output like reverse kicking ass, healing somebody, that general thing. And I do say reverse kicking ass because it's just kind of funny, because kicking ass, you're kicking ass as the DPS or the tank, but a support is still kicking ass, but not in the I am damaging you, in the I'm not kicking your ass, I'm making sure they can't kind of thing, so anti-kick. Now, with all that said, shown and done, I hope you enjoy the next clip, and you're technically going to... Okay, you know, that doesn't matter. I hope you enjoy the next clip.
2, 1.
There's a solution for every problem if you just look hard enough.
You've got one job. Take down as many enemies as you can.
We've been discovered!
Sorry, someone just took over your top spot.
Hello there! That's one. Let me return the favor.
From limbo.
Hello there! This should come in handy. We've been discovered. Let me return the excellent. The odds weren't in your favor.
My minion.
Fantastic!
Double kill.
And must
Behold the god of thunder!
Wow, 4 in a row. 5. That's amazing. You've got the most points. Keep up the stellar work.
This should come in handy. Fantastic! Sorry about that.
Double kill. I got you.
This Ankh is radiating supernatural energy. The odds weren't in your favor.
Behold! Double kill! You need to eliminate 6 more players. That's 3! You need to eliminate 5 more players.
There's still more work to be done.
I got you! kill! You need to eliminate one more player. Come, my minion.
We've been discovered.
That child!
A futile attempt. Fantastic! A rousing success.
That was an impressive performance.
This next bit is going to be kind of inverted, where you're going to see the gameplay of Invisible Woman and then the overall overview of how she functions, because her kit is very versatile, and I do want to show off gameplay and then the word vomit, because there's so many different things her kit can do. That Moon Knight actually did that well, because 2 says, need healing now, but 9A, I'm spamming it because I'm low. It's, please help me, kind of thing. And with that said, this game will come in really... Not this game. This will come in really handy in the game if there was health bars, at least for supports, to show you who all has what health, that general thing. Like if you're spectating, that general thing. But I think it should only be for your team and possibly as like a support passive. Or, not Vanguard, strategist passive. And I will be talking about a couple other things that I do think need to be tweaked about this game overall, like the health bar thing that I didn't really say well. If it was able to be just visual on the side, like above your abilities, just showing you each character's health bar, how much health they got, different things like that, like their status effects, it could really help out, be it support, DPS, or tank, because there's a lot of different times where, as a DPS or a tank, I'm going to want to dive or anti-dive my support so they don't die. So if I could see, oh, my support's about to die, where are they? Got you! Kind of thing. I would long-range snipe a bitch with my knee as Iron Fist. Just, you think you are alone kind of thing. You think my Jeff is alone. I got my Jeff. Now, I do cover a couple other things about how different... Like, it's not a whole lot of different tweaks, but Wolverine and Invisible Woman does need a tweak, and I do cover Invisible Woman's tweak a little bit later, and then Wolverine's tweak. And I do mean tweak as in a little bit of a tweak on the thing, because sometimes tweaking... I say that because language nowadays is so weird, even if you're speaking the same language. Because American English versus English, there's a lot of differences, but even in American English, there are so many different differences nowadays, and it's just weird. Because I could say a word, and it means something completely different to most people that would be speaking the exact same language. That could be like from Atlanta versus where I am exactly in Georgia. The difference in dialect is insane nowadays. And it's because of the, like, skibbity, all these different things that completely degrade language overall. And GG is a good example, but not a good example. GG is another one of those degrading language overall, like BRB, that general thing. Degrading language, because if you could just text that overall, you would have that language. You would want to say it more if you just text it more, and that's why I never actually do BRB or anything like that, unless I'm texting fast. But, and that's the time you really need to use it, and all these different things that just degrade language over time. It's not a lot of degrade, but a lot of different times where language or words are just different. Like, for an example, if you did not know, the reason why the COVID vaccine, this is technically something I shouldn't cover on YouTube, because I believe this is not a good conversation, because YouTube will actually just hammer your shit, but the COVID vaccine is not a vaccine. They changed the definition of vaccine to mean all sorts of things. I don't know, I've not read the exact definition nowadays, but the definition includes vitamins. Those are not a vaccine in any way, shape, or form. And that's a degradation, or degradation, there we go, of language. And it happens everywhere, and it's annoying how language was getting to a beautiful point. Because if you don't know, why I love America overall is because America is not a language or a country. It's like 20 different countries in one big melting pot trying to get along and succeeding for a lot of different points in history, like modern time. And even in older time, like for an example, the New York City was made by, I believe it was Italians first and then Irish, something like that, where it was made not by technically Americans, but by other people. And I say made because they made infrastructure, they did all sorts of different things to make it what it is nowadays, made it New York City. Without them, it would not be New York City, and different things like that. It's amazing how, like, for example, foods. The foods in America are nowhere near the foods in every other country. Even if you go eat Asian food in America, it's not Asian food because they can eat cats and dogs where that's illegal here. And different things like that. And speaking of that, I am not one of those type of people that are like, oh, how dare you eat them? Cats and dogs are on a farm even nowadays because they are a good, oh shit, food source. I don't think it's okay to have entire farms. Like, I would not personally have a dog farm because that's just, dogs are way too just nice for that. But I don't mind going to an Asian country where they do have it and trying it at least once, at minimum once, because I am one of the type of people that do want to try everything at least once because it's interesting. And food related and like experience, like shooting a gun. I would love to shoot a gun, specifically old Wild West weapons. I love revolvers, hand cannons, all these different things, and I do want to make an actual hand cannon, not a revolver. Just want to clarify that, and lever action rifles and different things like that. Hand cannon is not an actual thing in Wild West, but a big, powerful revolver that is basically a cannon in my hand. That is something I want to make at some point because I've said this. I don't know if I said it on this video, but I do want to make ghost guns at one point because what guns are, they are not a. And if you think I'm a stereotypical American that is Southern, I am nowhere near. Guns are not a weapon. They are a tool. They are a delivery system. Sure, most guns are filled with weaponry, where it's a bullet that is designed to kill, but you could technically have a airsoft. You could technically have all sorts of different things in that round, in that casing, in that general format. Just it won't feel like a gun, and that's why it's a delivery system. Like, for an example, think of the M32 rotary grenade launcher, or the typical, M32 rotary launcher is the specific version that I'm wanting to think about, but most games that have a gun system have a a rotary system, basically a revolver, there we go, of explosive rounds in this grenade launcher. Think about that general system. Think about the round size. Now imagine, instead of an explosive device, a fire suppression thing, where you thump it in the window and it just poof into a big cloud of no fire, and just thump, 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 and just push forward that way. As firefighters, where you're able to say, oh, people are in that window, and that window, and that window, so we can have these windows as entry points, thump, 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 get ladders up there. That kind of thing. Like, you can use it as other things than just violence, and that's why I really want to make ghost guns. Just to clarify, because the shit you can really do with a firearm, because of the long-range delivery system, different things like that, like a bow, for an example. People use them to deliver messages sometimes. They can just see somebody, thump with a note on it, and boom. I say thump because of how an arrow it's not a bang, it's more of a thump, and then thump. Technically. I really like onomatopoeia, if you cannot tell. With all that said, shown and done, I hope you enjoyed the video, at least up to this point, and you will see the Invisible Woman's main gimmick and all the different passives, different things. So she has 2 passives. She has so many different things about her kit that are really in detail, which is why I want to cover the gameplay, or show the gameplay, and then that. Hopefully my word vomit did not really subtract from that, and with all that said, I hope you're enjoying the video.
I am ready to put on a show. Clear the way. A little extra oomph. Disappear! Disappear!
That feels better.
Clear the way! I don't think that's welcome. Pulse charge. Clearly you needed some help. Another fearsome foe. Good work. Clear the way. Squad touch field. Sai, we need you back.
Almost hurt.
I like the cold. Comes on the break. easily.
That's better.
What a difference.
Psionic Surge! Anyone willing to help? Now I see them. Get that vehicle moving again! Down to 30 seconds.
By the eye of Agamotto!
Just in time. No worries. I've got your back. Oh, hello. Final 10 seconds. So close. This is your big chance. You'll have to keep fighting until we have a winner.
Armed and dead! Again! Again!
I am ready to put on a show. Disappear!
What a difference.
Clear the way. A little help. Watch. Now I see them. Well, you can't expect to win them all.
With all that said, shown and done, this character is the perfect comparison. Peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter and chocolate, the perfect combination of two different playstyles that can really complement each other, even with their passive. Because I don't really talk about the team synergies because those aren't really, they are handy, they're able to do a lot, and I do talk about them actually every single time. I will talk about that in a minute. I don't know what I was on. But her kit overall, like you are going to see in the gameplay, is very versatile, like Mr. Fantastic, but in like the inverse, where her kit is designed to allow you to have constant healing. Not a whole lot of damage. You can do some pretty interesting things with damage and stuff like that, but you're able to heal. And something amazing about this healing, it's on forward and backwards. Same with the damage, so you're able to actually get a lot of healing off per shot, if you're able to get in that distance, because it doesn't actually have a lot of distance. I do want to try and show that off. Has a lot more distance than I thought it did. There we go. That's out of distance, and just a little bit farther forward. There we go. That is the distance-ish right there, which you can see pretty easily, and that's actually a pretty good distance with the, I believe, I do want to make sure I'm correct about this. One hit. There we go. Where if I was closer, it would be able to hit him twice. There we go. Alright. Now, with her kit, the shield itself is not really, how do I put this? The shield itself is not meant to be used as a shield. You're meant to use it, or you can use it as a shield if you really want to, and there is times where you really do want to use it as just that you can't take damage, like for an Iron Man, something like that, depending on what exactly they're doing. Now, the cool thing about it, the thing that makes it really interesting, I'm pressing on the buttons. Here are the abilities, because I actually showed this off. There's a whole lot of them that I'm going to get into. But her shield is able to heal her and the person it's on, and anyone else in that pretty obvious AoE. So you're able to do a whole lot of healing with the ability to double tap it, or not double tap it, double up on healing to allow you to use the shield and your overall shots to have some constant healing and massive healing on top of that. Because keep in mind, that's not a whole lot of healing by itself, but with what you just saw with the primary fire, you're doubling up on a whole lot of healing, which is really cool. Now, the next thing about her kit that is really interesting is her amount of you are destroyed. It is like way more than any other character that I've ever seen in this game to date, because of how much you can really do. Her, I meant to do the bubble, but her, what is this called? I was going to say force physics. Okay. Her force physics allows her to manipulate people very easily and very effectively while doing a good bit of damage. And that little bit of manipulation can really do a whole lot. Because think, for an example, there's a Jeff or a support or anyone for that matter that you really, really want to manipulate. Like, for an example, Black Widow about to use her ult on somebody, you manipulate them just enough to make it where their ult does not hit where they want it to. And if you don't know, Black Widow's ult is able to one-shot somebody, which is what I'm talking about this, but being able to just say nope and just avoid them or to make them able to just say nope. Press the button.
Burst.
To make them able to just say nope and bump them around just a little bit to allow them, or not even really, just a little bit. That's a pretty good bump to allow you to have some very good versatility in what you're trying to do. And you're able to bump them into portals, bump them into just about anything you really want to have some very good versatility. Now, with that, next, and you did something by accident, is this. The constant suck and constant damage allows you to do some very good manipulation, because keep in mind, you can do something like this to completely distort them, completely just where the fuck is anything. Because you're doing damage with the bubble, which is sucking them, which is slightly moving them, which is noticeable in gameplay, because every little thing's noticeable. And then you bump them to make them even more, where the hell am I? Where the hell is you? What the fuck just happened? And then they have to reorient, and then you're doing some damage or getting the hell out of them. Because with the get the hell out of there, the next bit is with her X button, or my X button. The X button allows you to do some very good things because it's a very good just movement tool, because it's a very good distance you can cover with some good speed with it. But it instantly makes you go invisible, like I demonstrated there. The thing about that, and it also makes it where you passively heal, because while you're just invisible, you passively heal, and I do want to show this off. Boom. Which is a very good, oh shit, I'm out of there. But, like with every single invisible character, if somebody is trying to focus you, and you make a sound effect, you do something like that, for an example, you will be targeted, you will be ready, you have to be ready to get absolutely annihilated. But, something kind of cool about her jump is you don't have to go that distance. You don't have to be able to just bounce up there. You can actually, and I do want to show this off, because if you're moving, somebody shooting, they're going to think you're going to go full jump, possibly. And even if they don't think that, you still have a 50-50 chance to go from boom to, instead of up there, to just down here. To have that good versatility of where you exactly want to go. And if I get this correctly, yep, you can completely distort where you want to go. And I'm saying this because in the middle of a combat, or in the middle of a combat scenario is what I wanted to say, you are really, really going to want to completely manipulate where you're going, where you want to be, that general thing, because at any given moment, somebody could be right there ready to annihilate you. Her last ability is, and last ability except for her passive, her other passive besides being able to heal while invisible, is this. That is a very, very good, you cannot die. Do not use it as a, let's push. You can technically, but use it as a, we are now immortal for a good little bit. And immortal, actually wait. Okay. I believe when you're doing damage to somebody in that entire ultimate as the enemy, you're able to see them, I believe, and I think that's the case because I did play Mr. Fantastic, just start swinging, and I believe they can, and say, I could see, just to clarify, I could see them while hitting them, but I don't know if people outside the bubble could see them, or the tube could see them. But, either way, the tube itself is very, very handy, because it's a good just no to everything. Because while you're in it, you're invisible, the entire team, and you're constantly getting healing, like a pretty substantial amount of healing that I do really want to show off, because holy shit, your tank's about to die. Anyone at all is about to die? No, they ain't. In an instant, in an absolute just nope of all that damage they could possibly take, which is absolutely insane to think about, but it's a super with a pretty long cooldown. And you can hit multiple enemies, but you're really not meant to hit enemies with her. You can with the other two abilities of manipulation, and I did actually mean to press those in that order, which is pretty fun. I'm getting a little bit better. But, all these different bits are very handy and allows you to do a lot of manipulation, overall crowd control of friend and foe alike, which is pretty handy. But her passive, or a passive for her, is that. That is really not effective by any stretch of the imagination on the third swing. But if it was tweaked where on every swing it gave a little bit of a bump like it actually does now, like for an example Zenyatta's passive where you can kick and just bump them, would be very handy, like for an example Wolverine, because Wolverine actually needs a very good bump that I do want to show off. Wolverine's lunge, I pressed the wrong button, should not be on a vertical. It should not be just up. Because like for an example, if they are at this distance and you really want to say, I want to kill you, you press the button, you're going over them. It should be on more of where you're looking, like this dude's movement, allowing you to have a very good versatility and exactly where you want to go with absolute precision to allow you to have that very good just boom on them, because you can and should use it as a good get in and get out, depending on what exactly you're wanting to do because of the overall damage values. And with that, same rules apply with Wolverine. His dash allows you to do that, relatively speaking, because you're able to go where you want to look, or you're able to go where you're looking. But with this, it's only up, and you have to completely control where that goes. If you could control at least exactly where the lunge is going, like, for an example, if you hit it closer to you, you could, like, lunge, like, on the ground, like, have basically an animation where you're running across the ground, and whenever you hit there, gets absolutely fucked up kind of thing. Or the more balanced one. I do like that idea, because just imagine Wolverine just running at you like a monster, basically. But, instead of that, having it where when you look there, you're actually going to hit there. Or, hell, there we go. Ooh. You do slide a little bit with that ability. Cool. It would work like that, where you can have that downwards boom, and if you're in the air, you could lunge straight down, instead of having that extra jump, which you could actually use pretty effectively. Because keep in mind, all these abilities do have cooldowns. I have no ability cooldowns right now, but if you could, say, lunge up and then go straight down, like with his ultimate, it'll basically be a backup ultimate, where you can pop up and then go straight where you want to, which could allow you to do some pretty fun things and cool things overall. And I say it could allow you to because I am not a Wolverine player, and I don't think I've actually talked about Wolverine in depth. I've talked about little pieces about Wolverine, because Wolverine's kit is the most intriguing, in my personal opinion, because if you didn't know, Wolverine has a secret passive, relatively secret for the game. If you go to the website, Wolverine has a passive that is not listed in the game that allows him to do more damage depending on your total health. Now, I don't know how it functions exactly, but things like, and I do want to get into this because I do have enough time in the video, but this is nitty-gritty bits that I do want to get into more and do want to focus on more, because this game is fucking gorgeous that people don't really talk about because of that passive. And okay, Hulk overall has a lot of different versatility and a lot of different things he can do. Primarily when you're in Bruce Banner, and you're meant to go Bruce Banner to Hulk and Hulk to Bruce Banner, and vice versa. You're meant to have that back and forth. He's able to shoot. That's the biggest thing with Hulk. He has no range. So just being able to shoot is very handy. Now, when you are in vice versa, the different health pools actually make it where Wolverine does different damages to you. Like Wolverine in Hulk, he will delete you if you're not careful. But in Bruce Banner, you can really get around and fight the Wolverine pretty easily. Now, something amazing about that overall kit, and the thing that I really want to talk about Hulk about, is because when you are in this mode, because of that absurd amount of health, Wolverine does an absurd amount of damage to you. So if a Wolverine knows what they're doing, they can just say, I want to kill you, and pop you like a zit, and just pounce on you, and you're gone. But imagine, for an example, you're in a comp match, or you're watching this comp match, because it'll be a lot better if you're watching it, because vice versa, kind of scary. Or Wolverine is awesome. But imagine, you hear, and you're Wolverine, and you are about to absolutely annihilate them, because you do what I suggest for the buff of having where you can go where you're looking with the lunge, where you jump from, like, this map is not, you can actually fight in this map, but at least in like a quick play, that general thing. But imagine you're on verticality with Wolverine. You hear that ultimate pop. You use your dash, your little dash, and then your long range dash, which gives you that faster swing speed, directly on the Hulk that popped that ultimate, not knowing where the hell you are, because you don't pop your ultimate at the same time, so you don't have to worry about that big audio cue, and you just annihilate that Hulk. And I can't show off exactly how fast you can do it, because I don't really want to play with, but holy shit, I've had it done to me, and it is genuinely kind of a jump scare for that Hulk. Unless they know exactly where you are and are prepared for it, because they can easily, while they're fighting, charge up their jump and say, oh, Wolverine! No. That kind of thing. Just, no, Wolverine. Now you'd have some pretty good overall movement and versatility, which is incredibly handy. And speaking of the whip like talking about the whip like a noodle, that's not far enough. But it does kind of have the same effect. And I'm sorry about my voice cracking. My voice is not 100%. I have just kind of gotten rid of the strep throat, and I've been yelling a bit. But can I?
So, let's get started.
Oh, I can. Okay. This is an example of sensitivity is very handy with gaming overall, because sometimes with some characters you do need to have a faster sensitivity than what you would typically be used to. Like this sensitivity, I don't think is even fast enough. But it's not as fast, or it is faster than my typical. Like you just saw my typical. This is faster than my typical, and I'm actually going to turn it up a good bit more because of that Whip It Like a Noodle mechanic. I'm keeping this in the video because I do want to show off how different overall combat and different things like that could really be if given the right amount of use. Hell yeah, I am going to make people cry a little bit more with this. Okay. And I say make people cry because PvP is mental abuse, basically. It's basically legalized torture. You kind of meant to make people cry.
That's 3.
But yeah, that feels so much better.
That was simple.
Damn! The only problem is actually trying to get the long-range grab, but I don't really go for the long-range grab. Oh, shit!
Double KO.
Whipping her like a noodle, extreme mode, damn! Okay, that's a bit that I'm gonna end off on because it always makes me smile and just laugh a little bit. When somebody's running away from you and you have that bop, it's just like you smack them on their ass as they're running away. Okay. And something you need to keep in mind. When you hit a wall, that's technically the only damage you're going to be doing. You're not going to be able to swing it afterwards. Never mind. Maybe if it's... Didn't... What the... Okay, I don't know. But, I had a point. Oh yeah, when you are swinging your fist and about to hit them as they're running away and you can't keep up with them, it's actually hilarious to just think about you smack them on their ass as they run away. Like, you could have killed them, but you didn't have enough reach, so you just like, right on the butt, just daintily. It's just kind of funny. And I don't mean that anime sexual, just to clarify, it's just kind of funny to have that long range, just with the fingers alone, slap on the butt. Because long range Whip It Like a Noodle arms, and it's just,
Trouble has arrived.
I love this character. He is my main in quick play specifically, because I do want to try him out in comp, but I don't know that's a good idea. My personal opinion for who I typically have to deal with on my team, luck and different things like that. But if I ever do get a match where I can actually play Mr. Fantastic, oh, it'll be fun, because Mr. Fantastic's overall versatility and flexibility. Now, with all that said, shown and done, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you on the next